The next type of transformation that we're going to talk about is a reflection. A reflection is the same thing as a flip, and it's over some sort of line of symmetry or a reflection line. A lot of you probably learned about reflections when you were in elementary school. When they would stick a mirror in front of you, you would see the shape and you would see what the shape looked like on the other side. Just like a translation, when you reflect a shape, and let's go ahead and get a little shape up here. When you reflect a shape, it has to stay the same size. The difference now, though, is when it reflects, it's going to actually change how it looks. So it's either going to stay the same or it could turn like this, depending on where the shape is reflecting. Now, when you are reflecting a shape, you can technically reflect a shape over any line. The most common lines that they're going to give you is they may tell you to reflect across the x-axis, which is right here. Maybe make that bigger. So across the x-axis, it doesn't want to cooperate, x-axis, or they may ask you to reflect over the y-axis. So here's your y-axis. Or the one that's probably new to you is they may ask you to reflect over the line y equals x. That line means that no matter what the y-coordinate is, that's the x-coordinate. And that is actually a diagonal line. Oops, that's not a diagonal line. So it is actually a diagonal line that looks like this. So when that happens, we have to actually reflect diagonally. And I'll show you how we do that. Now, they could also ask you to reflect across different lines. They may ask you to reflect across the line x equals -3. If they do something like that, you need to know that anytime it says x equals, that is going to be a vertical line through that number. So if it says x equals 3, we're going to need a vertical line, and at -3, so 1, 2, 3, that means that your mirror line is right here. So that means wherever the shape is, it has to reflect on the other side of this line. If they want you to reflect over y equals -3, anytime it says y equals, that is going to be a horizontal line through that number. So now if it says y equals -3, that means that it's going to reflect over this line. So it would reflect from up here to here or vice versa. So this is really important that you know if they give you one that's not the x-axis or the y-axis, this is your key so you know if it's a vertical line or if it's a horizontal line. So let's go ahead and practice one. Here is my shape, and we better name it. We'll call this A, B, C. And they want us to reflect over the line x equals 0. So when we reflect up here, it tells us the shape must remain the same distance from the reflection line, both before and after. So what I'm going to do first is grab my highlighter, and on your paper I need you to draw this shape, and it tells us to reflect over x equals 0. Well, I just told you in this last chart, anytime it says x equals, that means we're going to have a vertical line. So it's going to be up and down. If I can figure out where I just clicked, you can see my beautiful baby girl, but I can't get it to go back. There we go. So it's going to be a vertical line through x equals 0. So that is this line right there. Let's get it back on the thing. Now x equals 0, that's the same thing as the y-axis. They try and trick you with that. Now, since that's my mirror line, however far each vertex is from this line, that's how far it needs to go on the other side. So kind of like a translation, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means on this side we also have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my new A, my A dash, is there. Now I'll do the same with either C or B. Doesn't matter. I'll go B. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So there is my new B. And then just like translations, if it's a straight line, we can just count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can connect our dots. So now I can see it's a reflection because B is still closest to the B, but now C is still the farthest from that C. And everything on both sides is the same distance from the axis. So let's try reflecting this same triangle. Now, over the line y equals 0. So y equals 0 means it's going to be a horizontal line. And when y is 0, that's the horizontal line right here. So y equals 0 is the same as the x-axis. And again, we'll go A, B, C. And I always like to use the closest. It's not a rule, just what I do. So if I count down now to my mirror line, that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So right there, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Connect those. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have B dash, A dash, and C dash. So all we do is this is a counting game. We just count how far things are from the axis. So remember the third one I told you that they're going to like to do is this y equals x. And this one, there's a little bit more counting that's going to be involved. So first, let me grab my diagonal line because I cannot draw a diagonal line very well. And my diagonal goes straight up the middle. Notice when my x is 1, my y is 1. When my x is 2, my y is 2. That's what it means. And now it tells us we want to reflect this over that line. So we'll put our letters in again, A, B, C. And now to reflect it, we actually are going to have to go both horizontal and vertical. So what we're going to do is start with this B, and I'm going to count to the diagonal line. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So since I went horizontal, now I need to go vertical, the same amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now my B is the same distance away from the line. So now I can do the same thing for my A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I think it needed to be 12. I think my diagonal line got off a little. So then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's my A. And then my C is still 1, 2, 3, 4 further. 1, 2, 3, 4 further. And we can redraw it. And now this is a reflection of this one because everything is the same distance away from the line. So the trick is if you move horizontal, then you go vertical. If my shape is down here and first I go vertical, then you're going to have to go horizontal. So it's really important on this one that you make sure that you have it drawn on a piece of paper so that you can actually draw your lines on it. Now the next thing you have to do is you have to be able to, just like translations, write the rule. Now, if we go back to this one, If I notice this is 1, 2, 3 away, this is 3 away. Together, the gap between them is 6, and this line is directly in the middle. On this one, it was 7 away, and another 7 away. That's 14, and the line is directly in the middle. So if we want to know where it reflects, what we want to do is find what's the distance from one point to the other. So on this one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 6 units apart. So that means the middle is 3 units. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So that means that's my middle. Then, before I just draw a line to check, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go down here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means my middle, half of 4 is at 2. So that means my line of reflection is right there down the middle. So that means now I have to look, here's my y-axis. It's a vertical line. So remember I told you vertical means it's x equals, and it's just x equals whatever number. So that is at -1. So your rule is it reflects over x equals -1. Let's try this one. If I look here, I see they're 1, 2, 3, 4 apart. So that means the middle, if I grab my highlighter, is right there. And if I go look at my J's, oh no, I changed the color. My J's are 2 apart. So the middle is right there. So I connect my dots there. Now I can see that it's horizontal. Horizontal is y equals, and it's down at -1. So there's your rule. Now the last one, the weird one, is when they're like this. On this one, I can see that my lines are diagonal. So what we're going to do is as soon as we know what they're diagonal, we know it's going to be going through our line y equals x. And if I put my highlighter and test it, I can see that it's going right through the middle. So automatically I can say that my rule is y equals x. So as soon as you see the two lines connecting diagonally instead of horizontal or vertical, it's going to be the line y equals x. Now the last thing you might need to be able to do is you need to reflect the shape, but they may just want one coordinate. They may not want you to draw the whole shape. Now a lot of you I know are going to try doing this in your head. Don't do it. Take the time to sketch this picture out. So if I look here, it's telling me to reflect across the line x equals 2. So I go and I find x equals 2, we know is a horizontal line at 2. So I'm going to grab my highlighter, go 1, 2, draw my line. And now they don't want the whole shape, they just want the image of u. So it's going to be, we count how far away it is, 1, 2, 3. So on the other side it's also 1, 2, 3. So my u dash is right here. And now I can find that's -1 and it goes down to -2. So u dash is at -1, -2. So again, don't do it in your head. Take your time to actually draw out the line and then count and move it. This last one we're going to do together, they want it across the line y equals x, so I'm going to draw in my diagonal line. And they want the e. So if I go to my diagonal line, which should have been right there, I can see that it hits it right in the middle. So my new e is right here. So my new e prime, instead of being at -1, 0, it's now at 0, -1. So this ends this lesson. Hopefully this is help to clarify, especially when your lines aren't on an axis but they're at a horizontal or vertical line.